A good afternoon to all of you, and welcome to today's speech contest. I want to just share with you regarding contest. And in fact, let me quickly just have a look and see of the group that's here, who of you have never been to a contest or being part of a contest? Let's just see your thumbs up if you have not had that, or hands up, or doesn't matter what, just get some reaction. Okay. Some of you have not had any speech contest experience. That's great. And that is our, as a VPE, that's one of our important jobs. Just think about Verity Price that brought the world contest speaker to District 74, which is an extreme thing to get. Now think about it, if she was not in a club where the VPE was ready to organize speech contest and give her that capacity to be able to grow herself in that. It really literally starts with us as VPEs to create the platform. And I did mention it in my message when our PQG gave a message earlier on how we can look at the next few months to increase our education. I just find that now, as we are moving towards December, psychologically, people are feeling, it's getting to the end of the year. We've worked so hard. I am tired. I need a holiday. I need a break. Not more work, please. But I want to encourage you. If we have that mentality, I want to say it's a defeatist mentality in every area. And I say that with respect, because if we go back to find out, why am I here? And revive that, because you, at some point in time, you came here because there was a need in your life. You wanted to develop something. And you need to be persistent with that, because there is the power of intentionality. And the moment you tap into that, man, that thing just jerks you up in the air for success. So I want to encourage you on that. And I say that because speech contest is a huge mountain to climb. It is, but it is an amazing developing opportunity. And I'm going to share those with you today. So I want you to open your mind and be ready for that. Hansu, did you forget your hand up, or did you want to ask something quickly?
Sorry, I forgot to lower it. I lowered it now.
Okay, that's fine. And there was another voice. Was it you, Fasu?
Me, Faso.
Yes. You
say that the speech contest is a huge mountain to climb. How big is that mountain? Because as VP's job, it drives me crazy because we have 15 new members.
Okay, I understand that. And that's the reason why I start at the beginning with that, Fasu, because I give you some tips to avoid you drowning. Get in touch with the reality of the size and learn how to handle it so that you are not destroyed by it and nobody else either. Okay, so that's the reason why I start up front with it, to be realistic and not to sugarcoat a thing, and to say, yes, this is a high mountain, but we can do it if we're smart and we apply a few things to that. Okay, so let's learn to be smart. Here goes. Speech contest. It starts off with planning. I just need to reposition here. There we go. There we have our very own Verity that reached that front page cover. What a journey. The 3 purposes of speech contest. Number 1, to provide an opportunity to practice competitive speaking. The moment somebody reaches what Verity has done, a huge market opens up for you. And the market is where people are coming to you, asking you to come and speak at their events. It opens you up because people want to be coached by you. You can charge monetary. It opens up to you. So it is such an amazing opportunity. But go talk to Verity, because Verity, when I was doing last Toastmasters here, the open house events, Verity I called her in, she came in as often as we could get her in so that she can practice and practice and practice. So it is vital to have that atmosphere of learning being grown for people. It provides an opportunity to practice competitive speaking, provides interesting educational programs for members and the public, and it provides an opportunity to learn by observing proficient speakers. So whether you are participating or whether you are watching, there is some form of learning there for you. So those are the three purposes. But I then, because remember, every slide presentation, I turn it into a PDF so that the links are live. And therefore, I go next to access the resources. What resources are there? On Toastmasters International, there's some information about speech contests that they give. Then there's more information on how to run a speech contest. Then there's organizing a speech contest. So there's a lot of information, and I have the links there for you. Then there is the PDF booklet, Speech Contest Online Best Practices link. And the last one, the Speech Contest Rule Book for you. Oh, I forgot. And online speech exceptions. So in the rule book, if you are doing things face-to-face, that's what needs to happen. But because we go online, there is an additional aspect that can be covered as a result of that. Now let's look at the resources further. Because District 74 have decided that it will not just be international speech contest like it was last year. We now, because Toastmasters International has various different types of speech contests available. And they have their own ladder that they can climb. Some are just at club level, others are area level, division, district, or however it gets planned. But Toastmasters International have them available and you can use them. You can do all of them at club level. But that is another story. The International Speech Contest is the only one that goes all the way up to becoming the world champion of international speaking. On Toastmasters, here's the link. You will receive a kit. And the kit has all kinds of certificates, forms, the booklet, everything. And here's the description of what you find in the kit. So remember, in VPE training, when I do PowerPoints, I always do a PowerPoint, not from a PowerPoint training perspective. I do it from leaving you a resource with clickable links that you have, you can see how it is done and you can click for more information. So it's like I'm presenting a book to you. That makes sense. Access the resources, and the second one is the evaluation speech content. It also has its kit with its certificates and forms, etc. Exactly the same kind of things as the International Speech Contest. The only difference being you will now have an evaluation notes, you will have an evaluation contest, judges guidelines and ballots. You will have evaluation contest tie-breaking judge. So those forms will clearly be labeled, whether it's international evaluation or whether it's table topics, because those are the ones that we are doing. And you can see the table topic ones are labeled accordingly. What is our job as VPEs? Is to promote to members, and we are in search of key role players. The key role players can do this. Remember, I said you must be smart. I'm sharing information with you to lighten the load for you. So your load is download the stuff for them. Get the things together, because you've got the booklet here. I'm giving it to you. But then you need to find the key role players. because the key role players can do it as a Pathways Level 4 elective on managing projects successfully. And that's where you look at who are your people coming up that qualify for that and make a suggestion to them. Now, I'm just quickly showing, I just leave this here in the booklet for you, what that path does. We're not going to go through that today, but I have it here so that you have it in the booklet form. Let's have a look at the team. What kind of team do you need? You see, we need a key role player that is going to be responsible for the team of the chief judge, the contestants, the timers, and the Zoom masters. That's your contest chair. But then the other key role player is your chief judge, who is going to be responsible for the judges, the tie-breaking judge, and the 2 telecounters. Now, I normally create a WhatsApp group if I'm a contest chair between myself, the contestants, timers, and Zoom masters, because that group of people need to understand it. The contestants need to know how the timers work. The timers need to know how to relate to the contestants. The Zoom master needs to know how to spotlight. You know, that's a group, that's one group, that in one WhatsApp group, we're speaking to each other. All is fine there. Then, although the chief judge is in charge of it, but we normally have another WhatsApp group so that contest chair is making sure that chief judge is doing their things without interfering, because it's their role to take, and is just there so that they are in sync with each other as to the way forward. So the second WhatsApp group is for the chief judge. And the chief judge will have their judges, tie-breaking judge, and telecounter. The judges and tie-breaking judge are to be kept secret. Nobody must know about them. Of course, the 2 telecounters will know who they are. So nobody but the 2 telecounters and the chief judge and the contest chair will know who those people are. They need to be kept kind of hidden from everybody. Understand this, that the team that we need to put together. Now, if I just go back to the team, you can already see it's 1 contest chair, 1 chief judge. We don't know how many contestants there would be in your club, but you need 2 timers, 2 Zoom masters, 5 judges, 1 tie-breaking judge, and 2 telecounters. Can you imagine? What is the size of your team? 14 role players. And maybe there's only 2 people in your club that want to enter club contest. And then you think, do I really want to do all this work for 2 people? Yes, that's what we do. We do that because we are creating this learning capacity for everybody. It's not just for those 2 speakers. It's for everybody, the timers, the judges, the Zoom masters. Everybody is learning from this experience. It's a learning experience for everybody, because if you can ace it in your club, when area contest takes place, they're going to need people as well. You can slot into there and grow your learning experience. I, for my DTM, did it as being contest chair at all levels. I first started out helping other clubs. Then I did a mock contest for my 2 clubs. Then we had a contest, but we brought the 2 clubs together. And I'm going to strategize on that with you later. From there, I went to area contest and I was contest chair of area contest. Then I went to division and I was contest chair of division contest. And then eventually in district, I was also one of the team players in district, but not contest chair. And that was what I took as my DTM project, in equipping everybody along the way and creating a great contest synergy. Okay. So there we have 14 role players and how many speakers? 1, 2, 3 speakers? I don't know. Is it worth its while? I still say yes. The first idea to make the load lighter for VPE is find the key role players and appoint them to take on that project of level 4 so that they take the load off you. You just give them the resources. They must read up about it. You just keep an eye on them and make sure things are happening the way it should happen. The second thing that you can do is connect with another club. And why do you want to connect with another club? Due to the large size of the team, let's just reposition here again. Due to the large size of the team and the potential number of people available in your club, I mean, one of my clubs is a struggling club. I became club coach there. They were 12 members, they're down to 9 members. So how are you going to do a speech contest where you need 14 role players and you only have 9 people in your club? You've got to make a plan to connect with another club. So that is the reason why we do that. 2 clubs are better together in pooling resources and a team. But are judged per club. We still keep it as a club contest. When we do the judging, we just, what I did was I highlighted, let's say it's the International Speech Contest forms that the judges fill. So I give them 2 forms, not 1. I give them 2 forms. That when you introduce speakers, you do not introduce their clubs, where they're from, blah, blah, blah. You don't do that. But we start by saying, and now we are doing the International Speech Contest for the Swakopmund Club. Finish. Then we introduce the speakers from there, exactly how it should be. Once, whether we have 1, 2, or 3 speakers, it doesn't matter. Once that is finished and those 3 speakers have spoken, then we say, that concludes the International Speech Contest for the Swakopmund Club. Now we transition to the International Speech Contest for the Walvis Bay Club. End of statement. And now we just introduce them the exact same way that the script tells us to introduce them. But in that way, we are creating a club contest for each club, and each club's people will be judged just against their club. So if I give one judge 2 forms, a Swakop form and a Walvis Bay form, and I highlight them differently, I keep color coding, or everything of Swakopmund, 1 color highlight, and everything of Walvis Bay, another color highlight, so that because we're now going to have 3 different speech contests. We're going to have international, evaluation, and table topics. So all 3 those forms for Swakopmund will have 1 highlight, and all 3 those for Walvis Bay will have another color highlight. So to help them to stay focused. I hope you get the picture. Right now where you are, if you get the picture, smile. Good, thank you. Then we move on. The team. The 2 key role players are your contest chair and your chief judge. And I suggest that you source the 2 key role players, each from a different club. So each club gets a person that can do the level 4 project for this contest. Then each club needs to provide 2 speakers at least, 2 evaluators, 2 table topic speakers, 1 timer, 1 Zoom master, and 3 judges, and 1 telecounter. You do that, and then you begin the mock club contest. You use a standard club agenda as if it's a normal club meeting. This is your mock contest. You plan a normal club meeting that everybody will just come together. You schedule 4 speakers. In other words, 2 will come from the one club and 2 will come from the other club. This is just to get the practice run of what's happening. This is not your contest, but we use the forms. We do everything like it needs to be done so that people get the feel of it. And that's how you actually end up getting amazing people, speakers that want to speak, or other team players, role players. There we go. You need 4 evaluators for the evaluation contest. Can you see what I'm doing? The 4 speakers are being judged as if they are performing for the International Speech Contest. Then their 4 evaluators are being judged as if they are part of the evaluation contest. And then the 4 table topic speakers are being judged as if they are the table topic contest. So we handle each section as if we're busy with that contest. Then the chief judge with 5 voting judges and 1 secret tie-breaking judge is then comes from the team, and that's why we said 3-3, because that gives you the 6, and the 2 tally counters and the 2 timers and the 2 Zoom masters. So if you bring them together, this is what you get using a normal Toastmasters meeting. Now it begins. Everybody needs to be briefed as to what should you do and how do you need to do it, because most of the time people don't have a clue what to do. There are scripts available and it's highly recommended. I am not very much a script person, I can tell you that. I just want to glance at a few words and talk from my heart. But I've learned, and even when I did my DTM project, doing all those speech contests, I faithfully took my script, and for each contest, I just changed the pertinent information like the speaker and their title or whatever is needed there. And I highly recommend that, because often people leave out pertinent things, and that way you are sure not to leave them out. So there is a script for a briefing where the contest chair briefs the chief judge, and the contest chair with the speaker timers and Zoom masters, and the chief judge with the judges and telecounter. So let's look at the briefing team like this. First, you have the key role players. Contest chair is briefing chief judge. Then you get the contest chair is briefing the contestants, timers, and Zoom masters. And the last one is the chief judge briefing the judges, tie-breaking judge, and telecounters. Those are the briefings that take place. The forms, they are contest forms that the contest chair sends to the speakers that they have to complete and send back, because it needs to be checked whether they are eligible or not. The chief judge sends forms to the judges for the same reason. And then I have an Excel spreadsheet, which I'm not going to show you today here, where I control all of these and make it work easily. Now, following this slide presentation, which we will not have time for, but I just feel it would be an overload of information for today. Today, it was great for you just to understand there is a mountain, but we can do it. If we bring role players on board, if we promote it correctly, if we encourage each other into growth, then it can be climbed. Especially if you're a young club and you can put somebody with you, a club that is more mature and they have done this before, so that you guys can learn from each other. But when you get to the place where you're now busy with your contest, here are some important things for the judges training that takes place where it will carry on, but I'm not going to do that with you today. So I'm going to stop the sharing here, and I will be providing you with a lot of information in the folder at our VPE Google Drive resource place. Now it's time for questions. Any questions from the crowd? Does the mountain now look easier to climb?
Yes, thank you, Granny. Now I'm convinced that we can climb that huge mountain step by step. I have a question. So who can participate during for the contest? Like
Okay.
all members, if we provide training, or how does it work?
Very good question. Each person, whether you are a speaker or a judge, there are qualifying factors. There's even if you go onto the Toastmasters website at the Club Central side, there is even a place where you click to be able to verify whether somebody qualifies for contest. And you utilize that. So when the forms come in, you go there because it has it there. The rule book itself also tells you that what the qualifications are for each group of people. But yes, they've got to be, number one, your club must be in good standing. In other words, recognized by Toastmasters International as in good standing. You have paid your dues for at least 8 members. And then And now you can see how important it is. Can you imagine if Verity was in a club and the other club members didn't pay their dues, and their club, maybe she paid her dues, but others didn't, and maybe there were only 6 people that paid their dues. Verity's club would not have been verified, and even if she won, she would have been disqualified because it wasn't paid. That's how important it is to pay your dues. And yes, I think that's it. Karen, you switched your, I almost said light on, your camera on, and so did you, Lynette. Karen, did you want to add something there?
So I think the one thing that trips clubs up every single time is that the club contest happens in February, March. We have to pay our dues at the end of March. And if our club contestant wins and they go to area, they have to be paid at the time of the contest. And we've had on 2 separate occasions somebody who had paid their club on time, but their club hadn't paid Toastmasters International, and then they're disqualified because they have to be paid at Toastmasters International. So it's important for the VPE to work closely with the treasurer to make sure that the treasurer is paying the money across to Toastmasters International as soon as possible, so that we don't get to a place where somebody's very disappointed because they think they are eligible, but they aren't. That's the one thing. The second thing is that for new clubs, there isn't criteria. They can actually participate if it's a brand new club that had just recently started. But for long-standing clubs, your members have to have completed level 2. So now you should already be pushing people to make sure that they're level 2 and above, so that they are eligible by the time we get to February, March, when we start to run all these contests. So it's not a case of arrive next year in January, February, and then scramble around. The planning is a little bit further back. And I only say this because I have lots of new members in my club, only 2 people that are further than level 2. So I'm actively driving people to get them through level 2 so that we're going to be able to have lots of people to compete.
Excellent, excellent. Thank you. Lynette, you also wanted to say something?
I just wanted to clarify really what you've said is that the club must be verified complete. So they must have paid for 8 members, plus the speaker, whoever the contestant is, must also be one of those paid up members. And then the other point I wanted to cover, you covered early in your presentation, is that you can do this for your personal benefit as a pathways level 4 item. You cannot do a club contest or even an area contest and expect that contest on its own to be sufficient for an HPL project. Because I've had those questions before, and someone was particularly upset with me when I said that it doesn't count for an HPL project.
And that's why when I did the DTM, it wasn't just one little club contest.
Oh no, it was a string.
It was a whole string. The purpose, because there was an actual purpose. The purpose was how I was going to impart skills, develop teams, grow everywhere along the way. So that's really important to notice. It can't be for a DTM project or an HPL that you take one club contest. But level 4 project can handle the one club contest from a contest chair perspective with its little team and from a chief judge perspective with its team. So each one has its own aspect of key role players. And if they come from each a different club, of the 2 clubs coming together, then it's in all fairness that each club gets to have their people grow because as a result of that. Thank you, Lynette. A very important thing. Now you'd say, we heard from Karen and Lynette that that area and this division contests will be like February and April next year. So why are we talking now about contests? I have found the best time for a club contest is November. And the reason why I highly recommend that is our club did it in November last year. Well, we've been doing it in November for quite a number of years since I discovered this. Previously, we also did it just before an area. But then when I really understood the value of contest and the planning, because even in the international planning, they talk about club contests from November. And then I took it on and I said, let's do club contest in November. And because last year it was done in November, I won I won our club contest. But when I won our club contest, and that was the first time I've never entered club contest because I was always the one organizing it. Like this year again, I'm organizing it. But last year I decided I'm going to just for once have a go and see where it can take me. Well, I won club contest. And I was so grateful that it was in November because it gave me December, January, and February to be able to gain a coach, to practice, to rewrite and change it. Then in the early March, we had our area contest. I won area contest. Then in April, we had our division contest. I won division, and I went, Verity and I were competing together at semifinals. So I managed to take the road up there, but because I was able to start early, I was able to put things in place for my life that really helped me and projected me ahead. And that's why I want to encourage you to do contests in November, because October is not full of a lot of things for you to do, and neither November. If you do it now, then by the time next year comes with February and March and dues and educations, and because there are new membership drives and new educational drives and all kinds of different pressures, this pressure is not added. It's now placed in a time where there is a bit more time to do that. Okay, any other questions? Let me quickly read what's here. Good morning.
You just mentioned that we should start doing it in November. Please, succinctly, 1, 2, 3, 4 for people like me. What should we do after this training today? What what month should we go out with, etc.? I'm sorry.
Okay, that is exactly the reason why I created this slide presentation in exactly the order. And I'm not going to take you through the whole slide presentation, but sorry, I'm now reversing it. I should have just gone out and started. All the 1 to 3 that you want to look at is exactly here. All you want to do is you want to access the resources. First, go and access the resources. Click on the links when I tell you that the recording and everything is available there. Click on the links and get your resources. Once you've got your resources, that's your number 1. The second thing is you can promote it in your club. And this is what you want to promote in the meantime. So number 2 is to promote it in your club. Number 3 is then the team. So now you want to find another club that will do it with you and start talking to that VPE so that you can get the team together. So that would be my thing. Download the resources, sell it to your club so that they can understand the benefits and that you can already identify role players and connect with another club to be able to help you. Those would be, and that's also, as I said, the reason why I created the slide presentation in that order so that you can follow it as it goes down. I hope that helps you. There was a question. I was busy reading. No, it was, Francois was saying, good morning all. And good afternoon, Francois. Area 81 completed our competition. What I did, the local club participants before Area 81 competition, I had it marked as project individually while the evaluators and audience evaluated them. Okay, that is also a very interesting way to do that. Okay. Thank you for sharing with us that as well. So remember, like I always say, whatever I share with you, there's a lot of what I share with you And same with Karen, same with Lynette. We share with you things that we've experienced over a period of time that have helped us. We share ideas with you. They are things that are set in stone. I mean, the rule book of speech contest is set in stone. You just got to know it, follow it, end of story. But the way around it is some of the advice and the experience that we share with you as possibilities and potentials in the way to go forward. Any other questions from anybody, or have we reached fullness and satiety for today? Well, if I don't see any reactions from you, maybe Karen, would you like to say something in closing, followed by Lynette, and then I will close off the event for today.
Granny B, as usual, this has been very, very useful. And just to say, you know, there's a lot of help and assistance out there. You don't have to do this by yourself. What you can do is you can pair up your person in your club that's going to be your contest chair and your chief judge with an experienced contest chair or chief judge who can mentor them. And then just give it a bash. This is a learning opportunity. Sell it to your members as a learning opportunity. And don't try and do it all. Make sure you delegate.
Wonderful. Thank you, Karen. Lynette.
I can just echo that. Get your resources from outside of your club. Even if you've got 2 clubs participating, ask other people in your area or other people that you know to come in as judges and so on. It's twofold. They help you and then you help them, so that you share the load and you get to know other people in your area and in your district, and so you grow your friendships and your knowledge base within Toastmasters.
Absolutely, absolutely. That is so true. And also just to say, you know, I started off by talking about pairing with another club and having a mock contest as in just a normal club meeting and how to do it. And then after that, you schedule a proper contest where you do have it separated, but in the same time zone, using the same team to do that, so that when you hand out the prizes, you go and this is the contest winner in International Speech Contest. We're now handling the Swakopmund Club, and you go da 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 da, and then Walvis Bay Club da 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 da, so that it is separated. It is a club contest, and it's been judged as a club contest, and it's finished and done by using a bigger team. And somebody said something. Where do I find mentors?
Yes. I have a question, Granny, because right now Madagascar is pretty new and we are planning to pair in with Mauritius Club. I'm really not sure that if we will do the things right. That's why we need someone to say that, guys, this is the right way to do. Thanks.
Okay, thank you. And I see Karen answered you so nicely there. And I wanted to just add to Karen's answer and say, one of the the path I'm currently doing is strategic relationships. And the reason what made me select this path is because in one of my previous paths, I did that networking project. And when I did the networking project, all of a sudden, my eyes opened up to something additional, an additional value to be intentional in your networking and relationships. And that's what made me say, I've got to develop this. And then I said, I know what's my next path, strategic relationships. And Faso, I want to encourage all of us to do strategic relationships, because I never saw the value of being intentional with every relationship I have. The fact that you're intentional does not mean it's manipulative or anything like that. I mean, look at Karen, Lynette, and myself. How we so innocently got mingled up together from one thing leading to another. But subsequently, it is such a strategic relationship because each one has had value in the other one's life and has imparted something in the other one. And I always like to liken it to this. You know, if your hand is dirty and you've got a mark on it, you cannot just put it in water and shake it. Yes, if it's not too dirty, it should come off. But most of the time, you need another hand that will be willing to get dirty, and the continual rubbing will eventually make both of them clean and be useful. And that's what relationships are. And what happened with strategic relationships in my heart was, now when I connect with people, although it's intentional, with me asking pertinent questions about who they are to see if there is room for this, what's happened as a result of that is I have become so grateful for the people that I have connected with in my life, because I'm so grateful for the value they add to my life that I'm looking to see how I can serve them. And I share that with you because I think that's a mentality that we need to grow in life so that we can find mentors along the way much easier. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Friday afternoon. The weekend is here and it is 2 o'clock. If there are no other questions, I'm wishing you a beautiful weekend. And with that, we will you can all put your cameras on and just let's wave each other goodbye or greet each other or something.
Thank you so much.
Bye. Have a
Bye.
great weekend.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Kelebogile. Oh, some of the names. Bye. Mpo. I got it. Bye. And Francois, good to see you again. Clinton, bye. Paso, bye.
Bye.
God bless. Bye-bye. Karen, are you and I going to cling a glass together? There we go.
And you can stop the recording.
That's true. That's true. I always forget that part. Hey? But at least when I close the meeting,